Ball up top. This might be the best three-word phrase that I have seen to explain some of the concepts of what it means to live firmly unbound. And this came from this X user, or previously Twitter user, here using the phrase ball up top to explain his emotional thought process behind having the best day of his life with his child being born, and then later on in the future coming to find out that the child was not actually his, saying ball up top. So we're gonna explain in this video today not only what ball up top means in a literal aspect, but also explain what it means in a more metaphorical aspect and how that can apply to our lives, and then how this applies to Firmly Unbound and what it means to live firmly unbound. So let's get into it. As we get into this here, if you don't know who I am, my name is Myles and I'm the owner of Firmly Unbound. Firmly Unbound is an expression of exploration and freedom in work, play, and faith. If you want to learn more about it, subscribe to this YouTube channel here. Everything I do here is all explaining the concept of Firmly Unbound and showing what I am doing to actively live a more firmly unbound life as well. You can also go to firmlyunbound.com to check that out. And then just a little bit of background on me. This is my second YouTube channel. If you want to see my RV tours channel, that is just Myles RVs spelled with a Y. There'll be a link down below in the comments and description for that, where you can go check that out. And then finally, I played basketball up into college. I still play pickup basketball to this day. And I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of what it means when somebody says ball up top. So the concept of ball up top from a literal standpoint is when you are playing specifically pickup basketball. So pickup basketball is going to be, you show up to a park like this, there's people playing 3-on-3, 5-on-5. You go to a rec center, same thing. There's no like strict coordinated teams typically. You're just playing pickup basketball, random people showing up at the court to all play together. And whenever something happens in the game of basketball where the game is stopped, so the ball goes out of bounds, there's a foul or a penalty or anything like that, the game stops. To continue play, someone might typically say ball up top, meaning, hey, it's time to check the ball up. So this would literally be the act of the person on defense taking the ball and giving it to the offensive team so that they can continue play. And you would say ball up top to signify this in a pickup basketball game. Now, what that basically means is you are continuing play. Now, why this is really relevant, I think, is because, and why this makes sense in the concept, Now, why this is relevant and why this makes sense in the context of this X post that we saw is it's kind of a metaphor for the idea that life goes on. So we talked about what it means literally. It is just continuing the game of basketball. Metaphorically, it is saying basically to continue the game of life, and that life is going to go on. It's another way to say it is just life goes on, you know, or you could even say maybe something like it is what it is. And that is a concept that I have strongly lived by, which is why I think this identified with me so much. In the idea of even firmly unbound, it's, I think, extends far beyond me, but the identity and core of it that, you know, kind of sparked the idea to begin with was, what are ideas and ideals that I live by that I think have helped me in life, and what do those mean? And firmly unbound is the idea and concept and phrase that came to mind after putting a lot of time and thought into that. So to say ball up top after something catastrophic happens is really just saying, keep living. You have to keep living. And there's so many ways where I think about this in my life and how I've lived, where, you know, right now I have a professional career doing reviews of RVs and I make good money doing that. But it was a long journey to get there, and life could have taken me down so many different paths depending on how I chose to respond to things. Starting with, if you haven't seen my testimony, I got arrested, was in jail, had to do probation for 2 years, and this all happened in my early 20s. Oh, and I had a public news story published about me that was very damning, that I thought was going to literally just ruin my entire life. I thought my life was going to be over in the instant that that happened. But I had to take the approach and the mindset of ball up top. Life's gonna go on. I have to keep playing the game, and I have to play it the best that I can. And this is where you even see this literally in the form of basketball. If you play pickup basketball with people, and maybe this is just my own opinion, but the absolute most annoying people to play pickup basketball with are people that just complain. People that get fouled and they complain about getting fouled. People that, you know, will find any reason to complain about. If you played pickup basketball, you know the kind of people I'm talking about. They will find any reason to stop the game and argue with other people instead of just continuing to play the game. And I don't think that gets you anywhere in a game of basketball. It doesn't score any points to sit there and complain. It also doesn't get you anywhere in life. Now, I don't want that to be taken as, don't sit with and process your emotions, process your thoughts, your ideas, different things like that, because that is very important. And there's a lot of time that I have personally spent in my life doing that. But it also means you can't just sit back and dwell on negative things happening in your life. You have to ball up top, check the ball in, and continue to play the game, regardless of your circumstances. I believe that is just so important to excel in life and to just enjoy life. You have to kind of build this mental resilience that you're just gonna keep playing no matter what. And this is where I think sports is so cool. And you can let me know your thoughts on this too, because I think this extends outside the world of sports. But anything that requires a strict discipline to learn and excel at. Sports being one of these examples. I played sports growing up, so it's the one that I identify with the most. But when I was growing up playing sports and I didn't want to show up for a practice, or, I played a bad game and I went home and I was just absolutely pissed off with my performance in that game. I had to show up the next day to practice regardless. I didn't get to just take days off. I didn't get to not show up. I didn't get to pout about it. I mean, I did have my emotional moments where in the moment I expressed emotions, but at the end of the day, I had to just continue to play and keep showing up every day to play. And that is such a valuable lesson I learned from athletics that I'm sure you can learn it through music as well. I'm sure you can learn it through art. You can probably learn it through things like maybe like Boy Scouts and like outdoor survival and many different things. But nonetheless, I think it's so important that us as humans, we learn ways to manage dealing with frustrations, failures, disappointments, and continuing to press on in life and ball up top, continue the game. So hopefully we all understand now what ball up top means literally and metaphorically, but how does this apply to Firmly Unbound and living firmly unbound? Well, one, I believe this is something that I have just inherently done. It's something that's kind of come natural to me, but also something I've had to work on over time. A lot of what I did growing up was all sports related. So I played football and basketball, played basketball up into college, and I acquired a ton of discipline through playing those sports. Learned that I have to just show up to practice every day, whether I want to or not. Learned that even if I'm having my worst game ever, I have to continue playing. You can't just quit and walk off the court. And those are all lessons I learned from sports. But also it applies to the workforce as well and everything I've done with work. So I'm gonna read directly here from firmlyunbound.com on the About page. It says here that Firmly Unbound is an expression of exploration and freedom in work, play, and faith. And in our work, it is our mission to explore new solutions, commit to taking chances over seeking comfort and familiarity, and know that the joys of life are just as much in the pursuit of success as they are in the achievements of success. And so that right there, that last line, the joys of, what was it? And I'm still trying to remember and memorize this statement that I wrote out here, but the joys of life are just as much in the pursuit of success as they are in the achievements of success. And that is where this ball up top statement really applies, is you have to learn how to enjoy the journey that you are on in life. It's not going to be easy. There are so many things that I have gone through personally, whether it's being arrested, having my arrest story published publicly in my hometown where I had my whole entire life upended from me at 20 years old and literally thinking my life is over, or being somebody who said I would never, ever, ever, ever go through a divorce and then having that happen in my life and having to battle with that and deal with that. And it doesn't mean that I just, said, oh, I don't care, it's whatever. Like, it is what it is. No, I had to sit down and process things. I had to figure out where I went wrong, where I could have been better. But at the end of the day, ball up top. Let's continue the game. We are still going to continue to play, and I'm not going to check out of life because things aren't going my way or the way that I expected, or even the way that I had every intention of them going, because life is unpredictable. And so I have learned to enjoy life and enjoy the journey of life regardless of what path it takes me down. I have done everything I can to try to just find joy in the process find joy in the fact that I have the ability to make decisions for myself. That's a big thing, I think, is I have never, ever taken the posture of anything is outside of my reach, outside of my realm of possibility. I can do anything because I am a person that serves God. I believe in God, and I believe that God has filled me with every capable means that I need to achieve the things in life that I want. Now, I don't have any desire to be an Elon Musk. I have no problem saying that, so I'm not gonna sit here and try to say that, oh, you know, I can be Elon Musk or whatever, because I don't personally have a desire to be an Elon Musk. But for the things I do have a desire to be, I know God has instilled everything in me that I need to be that person if I just show up and continue to play the game to the best of my ability and do everything I can to achieve the things that I want to achieve. And that is something I have always held inside of me. I have always felt was not challenging for me to instill. A lawnmower just went by, so I had to pause the video, but I'm glad that I did because I actually reflected back on what I just said and I realized that's actually not true. I did not do well with this when I was playing sports early on, and when I was a kid, I actually had a lot of frustration and anger issues when it came to sports. I did not handle losing well at all. It made me very mad. I did show up every day and I did continue to work, but this is something that came with more maturity, more of a broader understanding of life in general. And it is something that I think I have had to spend a lot of time hearing other people's ideas and philosophical ideas about life and stuff like that, where I've came to this realization and understanding now that life is going to go on whether I want it to or not. And all I can control is just enjoying every step of the process the best that I can. When I started selling RVs and I was making videos and nobody was watching them, I mean, literally I made videos of RVs for like 18 months before I ever made a single dollar from those videos. I just found a way to enjoy that process. I found a way where, I had one customer that came in to look at an RV, and I thought my competitive advantage to selling them this RV was that when they left and they decided not to purchase today, I was gonna go make a very comprehensive 20 to 40 minute long YouTube video just for that person so I could send it to them and make sure that they know how serious I am about earning their business. And that there was me enjoying the process along the way, even though a lot of people can start creating videos in any realm or any aspect and want to just make the money from it right away, from the ad revenue or whatever it may be. That's not enjoying the journey. That is just trying to get to like this end game goal, and you're not learning how to enjoy each step along the way. When I was working just hourly wage jobs, making $10 to $15 an hour, making pizzas. I worked at Grimaldi's at a pizza restaurant making pizzas. I learned to love that job while I was there because I ran my own recording studio at the time. I was making my own music at the time, and I did that every breathing second outside of my job pretty much. I mean, I spent a ton of my time making music, and the job was just means to make money so I could continue to funnel that into making music. And I just enjoyed that process. I just did it to the best of my ability and enjoyed it the best that I could. I made friends with people that I worked with, and I enjoyed that process, even though I was not where I wanted to be in life at the time. So many different examples of this. I would love to hear your examples as well down below in the comments. So let me know some things that you have just really found joy living through, even though they were not desirable circumstances. And then hopefully all this makes sense on how this connects with the idea of living firmly unbound. So if I deconstruct this phrase of living firmly unbound, firmly obviously is a strong term that is, something that is strong, and then unbound being kind of the opposite of that. It's almost like an oxymoron. Being unbound to anything, and when I think of unbound, I just think of the structures of society, and I think of all the different ways that society kind of constructs or tries to construct how we ought to view things and think about things. Shoot, we even have a presidential election coming up in just a couple weeks, and honestly, it doesn't matter who gets elected. Whether it's Kamala Harris or Donald Trump in office come January and February and for the next 4 years, us on an individual level just have to continue to say, hey, ball up top. We're going to continue to play the game to the best that we can to help our own lives out, to help grow ourselves in our own aspects in life, grow ourselves spiritually and our connection with God in our spiritual realm. And it doesn't matter who's in office. We are going to continue, or at least I'm going to continue to say ball up top, check the ball up every day, and continue to play the game to the best of my ability to better my life, better the lives of people around me, and also try to better my connection with God and my understanding of just God in this world, where I think that's so important. And, it's hard for me to talk about anything without bringing up God, because that just makes me realize it doesn't matter. Like, God is in control of this, and whether Kamala Harris is president or Donald Trump is president, it doesn't matter. All I can control is myself and what I am going to do, and my actions are not going to be changed based on who the president is. Now, I say that, it can change to some degree. It can change like with states that you move to and where you choose to live and stuff like that, what kind of policies you want to kind of live under. So there are those degrees to it. But on a broader sense of just, the work I'm going to continue to do, the efforts I'm going to put into those things, and just my overall joy and excitement about life is not going to be dictated by who is in office or really by any outside force. I will not allow them to penetrate into me and have that influence over me and cause me to step out from playing the game. They're not even going to distract me enough to the level where I'm going to get in an argument with them. And I think of, again, all this in a metaphorical standpoint. I'm not going to sit here and argue about it and prevent the game from continuing on. I just want to play the game. Let me play the game. I'm here to play. And that's what ball up top means. And that's how it kind of connects to the identity of firmly unbound. I am going to, no matter what happens, I'm going to remain firmly unbound in my posture in life, where I'm not going to let these outside forces bound me to doing certain things or feeling a certain way when I am in control of my life. And sorry I'm so sweaty, it's hot out here and stuff like that, but I think that kind of wraps up this point here. I hope that made sense. I'm still kind of trying to find the best ways to articulate this idea of firmly unbound and what it means. And then if you stayed to this point in the video, you can see the shirt I'm wearing. These are available on firmlyunbound.com, as well as a different version of a white shirt. So you can go check those out there at firmlyunbound.com. Be one of the first people to have Firmly Unbound merchandise in the world. They are very available in very limited quantity, so go get those while you have a chance. There's literally like less than 10 shirts in each size, because this is the first order that I have placed, and I probably won't order these exact ones again. So go get those while you can. I have sizes all the way up to XXL for those. So go check that out, and only buy those shirts not to support me, but if you identify with what this idea means to live firmly unbound. And I hope God will give me the words to more clearly articulate this idea to you as time goes on, because I can even feel myself kind of struggling. Like, it makes perfect sense in my head, but I'm still trying to find the words that really resonate with explaining this idea of firmly unbound and what it means to live firmly unbound. But if you get it, if it makes sense to you, you can go check out those shirts there. That's all I got for y'all. Until next time, live firmly unbound. And we missed. But that's okay, because you always get another shot if you just keep playing the game. And if you miss again, it's okay, because you still will get another shot if you just keep playing the game. And you'll still get another shot if you just keep playing the game. But if you step out the court, you stop playing, you don't get another shot. That's what the enemy wants to do to you. They want you to step out the game, stop playing. We don't do that here, because we live firmly unbound, and we're gonna stay on the court. We're gonna say, ball up top when life hits us with circumstances that we aren't excited about.